Did Billy Eichner just bring rom-coms back? Let's talk about Bros.
Oh my God, do you guys remember Straight People?
Yeah, they had a nice run.
Hey guys, it's Sean O'Connell, the managing editor at CinemaBlend. I'm at the 2022 Toronto International Film Festival, trying to cover as many different films as I can from up here and bringing you reviews from the best and some of the worst films that we've seen. But thankfully, we're going to dive into one that I really enjoyed, which is Nicholas Stoller's comedy Bros, starring Billy Eichner. Let's get into all the different reasons why this movie works in our official review.
What are you into? One of these ripped idiots with no opinions?
No, I'd like someone who's physically very frail and won't stop talking.
All right, I want to start with Billy Eichner, who becomes one of the comedians that makes a transition over to feature film in the Jud Apatow umbrella that also picked up Pete Davidson for The King of Staten Island and Amy Schumer when she was in Trainwreck. So it essentially takes a comedian and tries to build a story around their comedy stylings, and Billy Eichner is credited as a co-screenwriter for Bros with Nicholas Stoller. But it doesn't go full bore into the type of Billy Eichner personality that we've seen on like the short films that he does for Billy on the Street, where he's really aggressive and in your face. It pulls back a little bit more to show a sweeter side of the comedian that I wasn't expecting to get. And I want to get into that more in the second section. You do get a lot of really funny pop culture references that are peppered through the humor about Billy Eichner's character, who is the host of an extremely popular podcast that discusses how difficult it is to be dating in your 40s. And we follow this character around as he's constantly going on what he calls nightmare grinder hookups, or following his friends around through the club and nightlife scene, even though feeling very deeply that that scene has passed him by, until he meets a character played by Luke McFarlane, whose name is Aaron. And Aaron is nothing that Billy Eichner's character would be attracted to prior to this point. He never would see himself sort of hooking up with that type of person. Aaron seems to be more attracted into more weightliftery types, sort of sports-oriented types. But it's because these two are so opposite that Billy Eichner is able to find a way into this romantic relationship and figure out all the different ways that they are going to evolve.
You're so different from me. You're very intense. I like to keep things chill.
I can be chill.
So you go into a film by Nicholas Stoller that's produced by Jud Apatow and starring Billy Eichner, and you expect it to be really funny. And Bros is very funny. It has really big laugh out loud moments, though not nearly as many as I probably expected. Instead, what the film sort of counters with is this really appreciated and genuine sweetness and a heartfelt sincerity that's injected into the romantic relationships that are at the lead of the film. You really feel for Billy's character and want him to sort of find this love that he has been denying himself this entire time. His character has basically said, I'm content with being alone. I don't need to be in a relationship. When he finds Aaron, who's played by Luke McFarlane, he starts to view things very differently. And he gets mad at himself for the different ways that he's reacting to this relationship, because it's different from anything that he's allowed himself to feel up until that point. And because this is a romantic comedy, even though I don't really want to dismiss it in that genre, because I think it takes the romantic comedy to new levels, it does follow a lot of the same sort of ups and downs that you get from a screenplay that would be in that genre. The two do have some falling outs, and sometimes because there's a subplot where Billy Eichner's character is trying to open up a new LGBTQ plus museum in New York City, there are a lot of subplots involved with like what exhibits are going to be shown there that are done for comedic effect, but also sort of take us into conversations about queer history and how important it is for people of all ages to begin learning about the queer lifestyle, so that you open up people's minds at a young age. These are all great diversions, and they bring it all back around every single time to the central relationship and why it's so important for these two to get together and to almost get over their differences. So in a way, I rooted for them as a couple more than I have any other romantic comedy that I've seen in a long, long time. And I didn't really expect to feel as emotionally moved as I was by Bros. I thought it was gonna be more of a laugh-a-minute comedy. I went in looking for the laughs, and I came out really appreciating the heart that was injected into this film.
They said, we just want a movie that shows the world that gay relationships and straight relationships are the same. Love is love is love. And I said, no, it's not. That is bullshit.
Okay, so I mentioned that I would put this in the genre of rom-com, but I pull back from that a little bit because there are cliches that come with being a rom-com, and it's to the point where we've almost, seen enough movies that spoof those. So while I do think that Bros falls into the category of rom-coms, and thereby saying that we could say that the rom-com is back, it has to change and it has to evolve, and we have to see different things in this. Like, it's not enough that it's just a queer relationship. It has to keep going in a new direction and giving us things that we haven't seen before. And because of that, I think Bros really succeeds. Where it gets into its really most interesting discussions is how we as a society can embrace way more about queer history and queer culture, just making it so that it's not so extraordinary that we're seeing a romantic comedy released by a major studio that has 2 male leads. In addition to that, one of the things that it does really, really well that rom-coms kind of messed up on doing is bringing in celebrity cameos that have fantastic scenes. Jim Rash, who I love from Community, who's a member of the board at the museum that Billy Eichner's character is starting to launch, gets some incredibly funny scenes as an advocate for bisexual people and how they are marginalized by society. He gets a lot of really great jokes out of that.
This happens to be Bisexual Awareness Week, and no one has acknowledged it.
There is a joke in this movie that I will not forget anytime soon that involves Sarah Paulson and the movie Home Alone. That's all I can tell you. I don't want to ruin it. And also there's a Garth Brooks joke waiting for you in Bros that, again, you're not expecting. But when it lands, it's incredibly sweet and really tender in a way that the movie earns. And that's kind of what I love about it. It's not overly schmaltzy. It's really authentic. And it's because of this chemistry that's shared between Luke McFarlane and Billy Eichner, and the fact that as an audience member, I just bought into their relationship.
I don't want any Hollywood bullshit.
Overall, I'm going to give Bros a 4 stars out of 5. And I just want you to temper your expectations. If you're going into it for a laugh out loud, nonstop comedy, you're going to get more romance than you are going to get comedy. But I appreciated the romance, and I thought it was really great the way that it played out. The jokes when they land are there, but if you're looking to see that sort of in your face, Billy on the street type energy, Eichner's doing something different here, and I'm glad he is. I'm glad he's not just playing himself and injecting that personality into a script. He's really developing into something else, of something different of an actor, and I think if he wanted to continue going down that line, audiences are going to be really happy to follow him after they see him in Bros. Bros is one of the big movies that's playing here at the Toronto International Film Festival. It was a gala presentation. In addition to that, we're going to be talking about some of the big films that are still to come here, including the Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion. Steven Spielberg's movie, The Fabelmans, is going to be here, and we're going to try to bring a review for Brendan Fraser's movie, The Whale. So make sure you hit like and subscribe, turn on your notifications, and the minute a new review from Toronto drops, you guys will be the first ones to hear about it.